Hello, Libra, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 19th through the 25th. And during that time, we mostly have a waxing crescent moon, and that's a time of heightened sense. It's a good time for us to execute those things that we've just started during the new moon. Plan, start to begin those projects. And also just, start to live up to those expectations and intentions that we've set for ourselves. We then have the first quarter that comes in either the 24th, 25th, depending on where you are. And that might be a time, and it might just be a few hours or a day where you feel impulsive, impatient. It's hard to get anything done. And it's just a time for us to either, meet those challenges and try to be in control of our impulses, or to just kind of lay low that day. So depending on how you want to manage that, but please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Libra. So as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table here for someone else. And your overall message for this reading: conclusions are within reach. Okay, let's see what the Libra collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you try to get a little bit of nature time in. Try to get out there and, whether it's a park that you like to go to, take a walk somewhere outside, maybe get in the woods. I know we have a little path in a wooded area on our property, and I love to walk through there if it's clear. I mean, it tends to be also a little muddy this time of year, but it's a fun little path to walk through. Or get out at night and see the stars. If you're somewhere near water, get out and listen to those ocean waves, or even on a lake, hearing the shoreline lapping against the shore. So whatever you do for yourself to get out in nature, just this is my reminder to try to make a point of just getting out there and really enjoying that time this week. So okay, with that being said, Libra, let's get into this reading. April 19th through the 25th, conclusions are within reach. Your present energy right now is the High Priestess. So there must be something where, you're feeling like, you're being intuitively drawn to something or intuitively told about something. You're just really trusting your intuition. Some sort of truth that you're heading towards, that this could come to you in the way of a dream or, a feeling. This could be synchronicities that I talk about. So just make sure you're paying attention to the universe and its messages for you this week, because there appears to be something in there for you in your current situation. Your current situation, the cards come up. Look at all the choices here. 7 of Cups. So something that's going on with you right now, that you have a lot of choices, and maybe, your intuition is leading you towards certain choices, or, to try to narrow those choices down. So pay attention. If there's a lot of choices that you're making and you are a little bit confused, try getting out in nature. Like I said, is a good way to just quiet your mind, not think about things for a while. And sometimes when you do that, you just clear your head a little and you come back and those choices seem very obvious to you. At the root of your situation is the Queen of Cups. So, you're definitely, your hope is that you're going to be very emotionally understanding, and not only of your own emotions, but I guess if this decision involves other people, or the effects, or the lingering effects of what you might decide might involve other people, that you're definitely considering your constituency, all the people around you, and what their emotions might be when you make a certain decision. So so think about that. And that doesn't mean that you can't make everyone happy, but you can at least understand the emotions involved, and maybe understand, if you make a decision, what things might be coming your way, right? Not always, but sometimes. In your recent past here, Libra, is the Hermit. So it looks like you've been doing some sort of inner seeking anyway. Maybe you've just been asking yourself for those answers, and here comes the High Priestess to just help you out and say, okay, look, you've asked for this inner wisdom, and I'm going to bring it to you. And it's just helping you with that decision. So I feel like you already kind of know. You might not have said these decisions out loud, but there's some undercurrent that's kind of guiding you to a certain decision, and you kind of already know what that is, and maybe you just haven't put it down yet, if that makes sense. You haven't informed someone yet, or um, made a declaration of it. It might just be kind of an internal thing that you're working on right now. What is on your mind this week is the Eight of Cups. So this may have something to do with your future and how you want to move into your future. Um, most decisions are, we're not making decisions based on how it might affect our past. Usually we are thinking about things and how you want to move forward. But it does seem to be an emotional decision for you. It's not going to be an easy thing. But it's almost like it's the right thing. It might there might be people around that might be disappointed, but it does seem to be the right thing for you. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. I just have that feeling. But yeah, this means you do have some support at your back. So even though you're trying to consider everybody's feelings and there's lots of emotions and things involved with this, you're trying to just do what's best for everybody. So that's very nice of you, Libra. You guys tend to be very empathetic and caring about other people's feelings anyway. And this situation is, of course, no different for you. What is just ahead of you is the Six of Pentacles. So, you know, in this situation, it looks like there is going to be some giving and receiving. And even though this is a card of material things, sometimes it comes in a situation like this one where I feel like it is maybe not even about money or about physical things. It's just about giving and receiving of maybe energy, conversation, other things that aren't as tangible as material things. So of course it could be about material things, but I just get the feeling in this reading it's really not. That is what is ahead of you, that it is kind of an exchange of energy, conversation, some back and forth about how things will work. I don't know. That'll make sense again to somebody out there. In your advice position here is the Seven of Swords. So is that another? No, that was an eight up there. We do have a couple of sevens here. So Seven of Swords. This can really be a card about just being crafty. It can also be theft and hidden agenda, but I do get the feeling in this case it is not. I feel like, so swords are air energy, and that's words and ideas and thoughts and that sort of thing. Sometimes I feel like with this card, it's about, let's say that you have 7 thoughts about this entire situation. And I'm going to say, let's say that you decide to leave a company and go get a different job. Okay. And let's say that that's what the situation is. You're trying to consider everyone's emotions. There's people around you. You need to move into your future in a different way. There's some give and take. And again, this could be the situation for some of you, but this is what I'm using as an example. Remember, tarot is a template. So this energy will template over different situations. Anyway, imagine that, yeah, you decide I'm going to go get a different job. It's just, it's better for my future. It's really no personal hard feelings or anything. And so you have 7 thoughts about that. Well, you leave a couple of those, maybe with coworkers, maybe with your boss, and you take some of those thoughts with you. You don't maybe give all of your reasons, and that might be again to protect feelings, to protect, there just might be things that you just don't want to say out loud, right? And to me, that's what this is. This card is about, let's go ahead and say the couple of things. Maybe not everything needs to be laid out there. Everybody doesn't need to know every single thing in your head, right? So you put a couple of things, a couple of those thoughts out there, those ideas, those reasons out there, and some of those you just keep with you. They don't need to know everything. So advice is kind of poker face. Say what needs to be said, hold back on the things that really aren't pertinent to the situation. What is beyond your control this week is the Ace of Wands. So you are following some new passion, and this makes sense. This is something else that you love and treasure and want to spend some time on. And again, I'm using a job as a situation. It could be that the job you want to go to is just way more um, up your alley as far as interest and what you want to do with your life every day. So again, remember, it's a template. So it's beyond your control that there's some passion that's like the crux of all of this that's going on. It's because there's something else that you're more passionate about now. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? The Chariot, of course, is about getting ready to make that move. And you know how I said earlier that this is like an inner declaration, almost like you're making the decision inside and you haven't put it out there yet. And that's exactly, that Chariot card to me really represents that. It's about getting ready to do a thing. So you're trying to decide, what am I going to say? When I tell them I'm leaving to go to this other company, what exactly am I going to do? Just narrowing all of that information down. And that's what the Chariot's about. It's not about making that move yet. It's about getting ready to make that move and just gathering your thoughts and all your feelings together first. and your outcome position is the sun. So you're going to do this thing. It's ultimately going to make you happier. You know, ultimately, it's the best thing for you to do. You're just, again, you're being very empathetic and you're trying to save feelings here for other people. So, it's almost like you have to rip the Band-Aid. And again, it might not even happen this week. You might do this next week, but the signs are pointing to you getting ready to do that. It seems like it's weighing very heavy on your mind that, I got to get out of this, whatever it is that you need to move on from. It's been on your mind. It's not something new. You've been thinking about it in your past. So, whatever it is, again, you might not rip the Band-Aid this week, but it is coming. But I think it's going to lead to your ultimate happiness. It's going to lead you to spending your time in places where you're more passionate about it. What is hidden from you, Libra? At the bottom of the deck is the Hangman, which is a new perspective, which maybe that's what you're lacking, is some new perspective, some information that comes in to change your perspective, to kind of make that move, right? So I wouldn't be surprised maybe next week in your reading to come back and see that Fool card, to even see the Magician helping you manifest the new thing, what you're trying to make space for. I wouldn't be surprised to see some tens and the Death card, that sort of thing, where you've kind of made that decision and you're actually taking those steps to do it, to make that space for the new thing that you're more passionate about. So I hope that rings true for some of you. If it does, of course, leave me a comment. It's nice to know that these readings are resonating with people. But again, your overall is conclusions are within reach. I just feel like you're kind of, again, kind of just packing the ideas in there on how everything's going to go. And just keep in mind that you don't really have control over the future or people's reactions to things. Sometimes you just have to do the thing that you need to do for yourself and let the chips fall where they may, because it's very hard to, to be this Queen of Cups, to understand your own emotions and everyone else's. I mean, you might have a general idea, but you never know. Sometimes people can surprise you in a positive way. So, all right, let's see what the final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message here for Libra. The creative no. Sometimes that's what we need, is the creative no. Like, yeah, I don't want to be at this job anymore. Creatively, like, oh, I'm leaving this job because I've hit the lottery and I don't have to work anymore. Well, that's kind of a lie, unless it really happens. And I hope it happens for you. But you know what I'm saying? The creative way of, again, that's kind of a creative no card, that you would leave some of the information, but not all. Okay, what do you need to do in the way of self-care? Self-care for Libra this week as they get to the bottom of these decisions here. Passion is the card that you get. Light up your life by honoring your deepest desires. Well, look at this. Here's your Ace of Wands, your passion card. Light up your life by honoring your deepest desires. You get to this light, that you get to the sun by honoring your deepest desires. And sometimes if you're just stuck in a place where it's not your deepest desire, it's just kind of soul sucking. So don't let it be that. Go ahead and make that decision. It's probably really hard, especially if you feel like feelings are going to be hurt. But again, sometimes people surprise us. So go ahead and do the thing that's going to make you happy. That's what you're here to do. So, Libra, thank you so much for being here. I do hope something in this reading resonated with you and you can use it in a positive way in your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, again, drop me a comment and let me know what resonated with you. Is there something you're going through? Did this, hit the nail on the head for you? It'd be interesting to see how this energy templates over the different Libras. For one of you, it might be leaving a job. For one of you, it might be changing some other different part of your life. So it'd be interesting to see those answers. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps me, and I appreciate that so much. So thank you in advance for doing that. I really do appreciate that, and I appreciate your time here with me today. So thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.